we have speaker number 3, speaking of volunteers for a church. I have something for you here. He has resigned as pastor. Resigned as pastor.
Resigned?
He is retired from teaching to plant a new church.
Ooh.
The topic is, research your topic. The topic name is Community Church. Speech number 7. Getting there.
Mm-hmm.
The objectives are call information about the topic, carefully support your points throughout the speech. Mr. Timer, he is requesting 5 to 7 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our pastor of the night, Mr. Bill Curry.
Karika, thanks for those words. Get outside the walls. That's what we need to do. We need to get outside the walls. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, it's a pleasure to be speaking here tonight. It's important to me, it's in my heart to take God's word. Last November, I said, I'm going to go back to my country of origin and see if they'll take me on board as a pastor. A nation of less than 5 million people, and there were minus 120 pastors.
Wow.
So I go as a volunteer, but I guess I didn't say the right things to fit the theology. So they says, Wally John, we don't need you. So I come on back. I was back in the country probably 4 or 5 weeks when God showed me Toastmasters. And I've been involved in Toastmasters ever since. Right? What does it take to get things going? Community. This is community. We're here for each other. We edify each other and we get things going. Last Sunday was the first meeting. We don't have a name yet, but we're calling it Southgate Community Church. We met in my home, 11 people. And it was exciting. What are we going to do? We looked at who had the authority to start a church. And biblically it tells us we do, the people. There's nobody on a pedestal above any of us. There's nobody on a pedestal above anybody in this room that makes things happen. We make things happen. We do it. And when there's nobody here, we step up to the plate and do it ourselves. We get it done. And that's community. Something is lost. In the 50s, Southgate was built. And in that period of time, they built 40 churches. I moved into Southgate in 1974, and those 40 churches were there. And the population was 56,000 people. Today, there's 97,000 people in Southgate, and those 40 churches are still there. People are not going outside the walls. They're not they have little clubs inside the walls, and nothing's happened in the community. We're wondering why kids are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Jose talks about how he volunteers and gets involved in parks and Compton at night time, and kids are in trouble. He's there to feed them and help them. We need to get outside the walls. We need to start taking a different look at how church is done. Church, what is church? Is it a building? No. Church means an assembly of people who believe. Believe anything. Right? If you're an assembly of people that believe, we are an assembly of people that believe that we can be enriched by coming here on a Tuesday evening, learning how to speak and learning leadership programs. This is a church, using the Greek word, right? How do we come together? We enrich each other. That's what community does. It needs to be distinctive. We are distinctive and we're dynamic. People call, you were telling me that people call in our club when they need help because we go outside the walls to help. What does it take? Take a look at Rick Warren, Saddleback Church in Orange County.
Jesus.
It's incredible what's happening there. But the people who know what's going on criticize him. He started with nothing, grew the church until there was 2,300 people meeting in a tent on the Saddleback property. They finished up with 4 meetings. And the community of believers says, when we get to 10,000 people, then we'll build a building. And the building's there now. And there's 20,000 people there now. And they're starting to give facilities all over Orange County. Not over Orange County, but globally. The 10 capitals, main capitals in the world, they're planting churches. They've just opened another new one in Los Angeles. We need to get outside the walls and look at our community. Like I said, there was 11 of us met in my front room on Sunday morning. It was exciting. And then when we finished, we started to talk about what can we do in the community. Somebody said, well, you know what, we have problems in the street with speeding cars. How can we stop that? We'll get 2 banks at the end of the street and parking lots. People don't want to go in the main road, so they speed back across our street. We need speed bumps. We would like to have a block party for the kids. How can we do that? We would like to have a neighbourhood watch. How can we do that? So I spent all day yesterday up in City Hall finding out these things. I have time now. I'm retired and I'm the pastor. So I went and I get involved and I'm seeing faces and I'm getting to know who's going to help me. And I met a young man called Ricardo. When everybody else told me you can't get it, Ricardo found it for me. He realized this is going to help the community. So it came together, gave me all of the information I needed, and then he looked at me and he says, but it's not free. The block party's $40. Well, it's $400 for somebody to come and put the blocks up on this side and that side and take them away again. So it's $440. We will do speed bumps, but it's going to cost you $3,600. So a little block of 27 homes have to come up with $3,600 to get speed bumps to take care of the kids in the community. I'm going to go and have a word with both bank managers and say, hey guys, you guys are taking up 3 or 4, maybe 8 homes at the end of the block. You owe a few bucks to come into this so our community can be safer to live in. So church, assembly of people, I can remember when I was a kid what it was like. But it's changed. Everybody's individuals now and they live in their little homes and don't disturb me, don't knock on my door. But I go and knock on everybody's door. Everybody in the street knows me. Here comes that guy who talks funny and it's not a Mexican accent or someone else.
That's okay.
But I have lived in Southgate since 1974. I went back to Scotland and they didn't want me. Southgate does. And Southgate's going to have to put up with me because we're going to build, we have to come together. What does it say that? The Beatles. Come together. Right now. That's
Right
it.
now.
Right now.
Well, the esteemed president will do the evaluation of Bill Curry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks. It is my great honor and privilege to evaluate Bill Curry, one of the aspiring speakers coming out of this club, and I'm really excited. Community Church was his title, and I really liked the way that you, community church and church is a gathering, so community gathering and community gathering was also here, so you intertwined both the church, the religious church, and this church together. I saw the significance of that. I don't know if the less-minded people did, but I appreciated it. So that was very nice. And also, was a topic well-researched. You're 56, the numbers that you use, I'm a numbers guy, and I really fell for it when you were talking about Southgate having 56,000 in 1974 population, and now it's 97,000, and there was only 40 churches. You went off with a couple of those points that made, and you said it in such a way that people could still comprehend those numbers. And it was very nice that you did the way that you did that. You also was the, I did the, how well did the speaker support the main main points. You did an excellent job by using various different ways of explaining why churches and how churches can become from community churches, how they can grow and expand. I really enjoyed the Saddleback's church story and the way that you were, that you had some passion with it, showing that I think that anyone can start something, even if it starts with 11 people in an apartment. I think, by the way, that that's a great story to start off with. Whenever you're going to grow, you can say, we all started with 11 people in an apartment, my apartment in Southgate, or my little house in Southgate. That's a great way to start, and I really think that you did that so phenomenally well. The only thing that I really kind of was bothered by, well, actually two, was vocal variety. Billy, you got to expand a little. You have kind of like a television. It's not you know the way television, when you're watching a movie and then it gets really loud for the commercials? Yours has a governor that just stops. And the passion, you almost hear it, but then it hits a roof and then it lands. And you have to really, and I think the thing that with that we can work on is the body language. And I think that if you expand with the body language, I think that'll becoming that barrier will explode and it won't exist anymore. If you're going to be a pastor, you don't stand here because most of the people are sleeping. Okay, so you have to wake them up by walking around so that when they think, they'll open up one eye to see if he's getting closer, he's looking at you, whatever. And then when you start moving around, I think that your vocal variety will also flourish. So use this whole area. Don't stand over here because maybe that's the reason that they kicked you back over to us.